Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of the Electric Ireland Energy Markets Overview. In the past few months, we have continued to witness unprecedented levels of volatility in the market, with prices soaring to new highs amidst the potential scarcity of fuels heading into the winter season. European gas prices have continued upward throughout the second half of the summer and early winter, culminating in a peak during early October of over £4 sterling per therm. A remarkable increase considering prices were below 40 pence per therm in the same period last year. Although prices did come back down somewhat soon afterwards, this record high is indicative of the overall energy crunch that Europe is facing into this winter. And with demand back at pre-pandemic levels, supply is undoubtedly the most pressing concern for the energy market. First and foremost, there have been issues with Russian supply into Europe. Pipeline flows into the continent via the Ukraine and Poland have been well below the 5-year average so far this winter, with a Russian state-owned company consistent in their reluctance to make longer-term capacity bookings on these pipelines. Nord Stream 2, which bypasses the Ukraine and Polish territories and flows from Russia directly into Germany, has yet to receive sign-off from the German courts to begin operations. This controversial pipeline has caused a great deal of consternation at government level, with claims that Russia is limiting pipeline flows to force through approval for Nord Stream 2. This lack of pipeline flows also brings into focus the low levels of gas in storage coming into winter. Storage inventories were just 75% full at the start of winter, which could leave many countries exposed in the event of a prolonged cold spell. Other factors that remain relevant to markets include Norwegian flows, which despite ramping up amid the high prices, have experienced a series of shorter-term outages that have hampered output from reaching maximum levels. LNG also remains a key factor. Deliveries into European terminals have increased lately, but these are still below the 2018 to 2020 average, and it remains to be seen whether the current volumes being delivered can be maintained through the coming months, given the uncertainty associated with weather-related demand in Europe and in Eastern Asia. So, what are we expecting heading into the start of the new year? Firstly, the main drivers such as weather-driven demand and plant availability remain crucial factors, with Germany significantly reducing their nuclear output in Q1. A greater emphasis will be placed on gas and coal to bridge the gap. However, given the concerns about gas supply and the lack of clarification regarding Nord Stream 2, it is likely that volatility in the market will continue into the new year, and strong moves in either direction could hinge on any news regarding the Nord Stream 2 startup. We are also keeping an eye on the political situation between Poland and Belarus, as well as the ongoing concern surrounding COVID-19 and potential new variants. The carbon market has seen a strong uptrend over the last few months, fueled by high electricity and fuel generation costs. Carbon broke out from a range of around €60 per tonne in October, soaring to €75 per tonne in late November. These high prices have already led to demand destruction from industries such as steel manufacturing and fertilizers, who have had to cease their operations as a result. The COP26 in Glasgow saw a firming up of countries' commitments to reducing their reliance on carbon-intensive fuels, primarily coal. Although there was a general disappointment as this commitment was weakened from phase out to phase down. Recently, the incoming German government also set out their stall regarding their climate policy, stating that they want a €60 per tonne price floor on carbon allowances going forward. They also aim to phase out coal power generation, ideally by 2030, and gas power generation by 2045. Electricity demand has remained seasonally high as we entered the winter period. High gas and coal prices, combined with a soaring carbon market, have meant the price for electricity has remained elevated. Coal power plants have also seen a renaissance in the last few months, with significant running in the market, owing mainly to lower than normal wind levels. It is not expected that gas prices will fall from historic highs before April 2022, although they will remain high relative to historic averages for much of next year. Carbon prices have risen steadily throughout 2021 and are set to remain high as low carbon policies take effect in the transition towards a more carbon neutral society. In the Irish electricity market, generation availability to meet demand remains a concern over this winter period. Specifically, Huntstown and Whitegate generating stations, which collectively represent almost 20% of thermal generation in Ireland, have both been on outage all throughout 2021. The outlook for this winter has improved somewhat by the recent return to operation of the Huntstown plant. However, Whitegate remains on outage until at least the first week in December. The return of both of these large stations should improve the supply-demand balance significantly, as will higher wind levels normally associated with the winter season. And provided no other significant unplanned outages emerge, the system should manage the high demand period. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this briefing beneficial. Here at Electric Ireland, we provide weekly market reports which you can sign up for by emailing energyreports@electricireland.ie.